8.3 day 2 was on writing two-step equations again. Yesterday you worked with writing two-step equations. Today you're going to give the more of the realistic situations and having to write an equation for it. So here we go. When we wrote equations out earlier in the year, remember there was a way that we kind of did it. We said first off we should write things out in words. So put things down, basically what the paragraph meant, and put it in our own words. After you have the words, then you can determine what the variable is. Okay, that is the unknown or the changing quantity. And then finally we can go ahead and write an equation for that. So in example 1 it says transportation, a taxi ride costs $3.50 plus $2 for each mile traveled. If Jane spends $11.50 for the ride, how many miles did she travel? So this is the unknown. How many miles did she travel? So first things off, we're going to go ahead and write this out in the words here. Well, we know we spend $3.50 for the taxi service, and then it said plus $2 per mile, and then that was going to equal, because this is what she paid in the end. She pays $11.50. So now we kind of wrote it out into words, the whole scenario there. Next, we need to go ahead and determine our variable. Well, your variable kind of determines that last sentence there. How many miles did she travel? Well, and again, it says per mile. That is unknown. So I'm going to say M will represent the number of miles. Next, we can go ahead and write an equation for this. Well, if you look up here, it says $3.50 plus $2 per mile. So $3.50 is that charge for getting in the cab, plus a $2 per mile charge. And M represents mile. That's our variable that we have up above. And we know that this equals what she spent, which was $11.50. So there is our equation written out there. If you notice at the top there it says write and solve. So we need to solve this. We actually need to find out how many miles we went here. So the first step here, we'd subtract by $3.50 on each side. When we subtract $3.50 from both sides, we drop down to M equals, and we have $11.50 take away $3.50, which would give us $8 left over. We divide by 2, and we find out M equals 4, and M represents miles. So she went 4 miles in that taxi cab. Example 2, dining. You and your friend spend a total of $33 for dinner. Your dinner costs $5 less than your friend's. Find out how much did you spend for dinner. So here's some information. You and your friend, well, you spend $33 for dinner. Your dinner costs $5 less than your friend's. How much did you spend for dinner? So in words, we're going to kind of write this out again. You'd have your friend's dinner plus your dinner, and that would equal your total bill of $33. Variable is the unknown. It says how much did you spend for dinner? Well, that is what we need to find out. That is the unknown. So maybe I'll say D equals money you spent on dinner. That's the amount of money that you spent on the dinner. D. So in the equation here it says your friend's dinner. Your friend's dinner, well, we don't know how much they cost. However, what we do know is that D represents the number you spent on dinner, right? So your friend's dinner, if we look back up here, it says your dinner costs $5 less than your friend's. So your friend's dinner, this is your friend's dinner, your dinner plus $5. Okay, the reason why it's plus $5 is because D represents your dinner, and your dinner was $5 less than, so therefore your friend's dinner has to be $5 more than, so we're going to say D plus 5. Plus, and again, back up with the words here, plus your dinner. Your dinner is represented by D for the variable, and this equals 33 bucks. So now we need to go ahead and solve this here. If we look at the problem here, this is basically saying D plus 5 plus D, right? Well, here's some like terms here. A D and a D, we can add those together. So we basically have 2D plus 5 equals 33. Combine our like terms. Next, we need to get D by itself, so subtract 5. Subtract 5, and we have 2D equals 28. Get D alone. In order to get D alone, we'll divide both sides by 2, and we find out D equals 14 bucks. So your dinner was 14 bucks. If you needed to find out your friend's dinner, well, we know our friend's dinner was $5 more than, so your friend's dinner would be $19. Example 3, a personal trainer buys a weight bench for $500 and weights for $25 each. The total cost of the purchase is $850. How many weights were purchased? I'm going to have you go ahead, pause the video here, try to write it out in words, come up with a variable, then an equation, then check back in, and then we'll work through things to solve together. First part in words here, I underlined some of the key things there. Well, we purchased a $500 bench, plus we made payments on $25 per weight, and we know our total charge was 850 bucks. I used W to represent the number of weights. Remember up above it says it's $25 per weight, so that is the unknown, so that is our variable. And last, the equation there would be $500 bench plus the $25 per weight equals the $850 charge. So now we're going to go ahead and solve this here together. We go ahead and need to get W by itself, so I'm going to subtract 500 from both sides. I wind up with 25W equals 350. Divide both sides by 25. And I find out W, this is the number of weights, is 14. So I had 14 weights that I basically purchased to get me to that $850 charge. Last example, example 4. Again, why don't you go ahead and pause the video, work through it, check back in, and we'll see how we did. First thing, I go ahead and write it out in words. Well, it's $50 for my bait and tackle, plus $22 per hour for the guide, and this is going to equal our bill at 160 bucks. So we needed to basically determine in this next piece, how many hours did you fish? So how many hours did we have our guide service? So I'm going to say H is the unknown, and this is the number of hours fished with that guide service. The equation that we have here, well, we have $50 plus our $22 per hour for our guide service, and this is going to equal our total bill of 160. We need to get H alone, subtract both sides by 50. We get 22H equals 110. Divide both sides by 22. And when we do that, we find out that H equals 5 hours. So we fished out there for 5 hours. Got a little clip here for fishing. Fishing with a 900-pound grizzly is priceless. So here we go. Check her out.